Hello, Adams. Happy Wednesday. We're going to keep talking about motion today, and we're going to learn about who Isaac Newton is and what are the laws that he figured out. So, all right, so who is this guy? Isaac Newton. He was born in 1643. He was an English scientist, so born in England, lived in England. He became famous for studying gravity and for these three laws of motion that he studied and figured out. But besides that, he also studied calculus, which is a type of math, and he invented a reflecting telescope. So he studied outer space as well. So lots of different areas of expertise for Isaac Newton. There is a story. It's kind of like one of those legends that we talk about in ELA sometimes, which means we're not sure if it's completely true, but it's something that's been passed down and believed for many years. So there's a story that Isaac Newton was sitting under an apple tree doing his work, just hanging out, and an apple fell and hit him in the head. And that is the reason why he decided to study what we now know as gravity. And he was wondering, well, why do objects fall to the ground? Why don't they just stay up? What makes them fall to the ground? And this is how we came up with gravity, supposedly. We're not sure if this is totally true, but it's the story that is passed down about Mr. Newton. So the first law is called the law of inertia. And this means that an object at rest, so let's say a ball is just sitting there, it's going to stay at rest. It's not going to move unless a force acts on it, unless somebody goes up and kicks it, unless the wind blows and rolls it over. It's not going to move unless another force makes it move. Also, opposite to that, an object that is in motion, so you kick a soccer ball, it's going to stay rolling until the force acts on it. So until it doesn't have any speed to continue moving, until it hits a wall, until somebody puts their foot on it and stops it, it will continue to move. So this is inertia. It's a scientific term that means exactly that if something is moving, it's going to keep moving unless something stops it. And if something is just sitting there, it's not going to move unless something makes it move. So this is a little clip that sort of represents it. You can see she kicked that ball. It's moving until somebody stops it. And there she just stopped it. So that would have kept rolling for a little bit longer if that girl hadn't stopped the ball right there. This is, blurry, but this is a little cartoon that might help you understand it a bit better. So the car on the top is not moving. He says, I'm not going anywhere unless something forces me to. So he's not going to move unless somebody turns on that engine and accelerates the car. Whereas the car that's moving, I'm going to keep moving until something stops me. So until you press on that brake, until you let up off the acceleration, it's going to keep moving until a force stops it. So this is an example of Newton's laws. As you can see in this little image here, you might have seen one of these before. It's kind of a toy, I guess. And as you take those little metal balls and drop them, you can see how it will continue to move. That's going to keep on going until somebody acts upon it and stops it. So these are pretty cool. If you have one at home, I would definitely suggest using it this week to practice these different laws. And I'll see if I can find some more videos on it maybe. But those metal balls are going to keep moving until the force stops them, which is pretty cool. So this one is sending forces to this one, and then vice versa. It just keeps sending forces back and forth. It's not going to stop moving because that's Newton's law number one. So how do we measure force? How do I know how much force someone is giving or something is giving? So you know how we measure distance in feet, inches, miles. We measure weight in mass. We measure mass in pounds, grams, ounces. We measure force in newtons, which is obviously named after Mr. Isaac Newton. So the bigger the force, the greater the force, the bigger the number is going to be. So if I am, pushing on a wall not very hard, that's not going to be too high of a number. But if a big giant dump truck is pushing soil across the ground, that's going to be a lot higher because that machine is giving off a lot of force. So the way that you can think about this is an apple is 1 Newton force. So if you put an apple in your hand, that force of the apple in your hand is going to be 1 Newton. All right. That's all I got for the slideshow. Let's go over these quick. Number 1, which is an area that Newton did not study? So go back to that slide. 2, where was he born? 3, what type of fruit was the legend that explained how Newton discovered gravity? What's that story? 4, what is inertia? Something that keeps objects on the ground, a force that creates heat, a scientist that helped Newton, or a law that says things keep moving until something stops it. 5, which is not an example of inertia? A boy bouncing a ball, a grape rolling away after it's dropped, filling up a water bottle, or eating a donut. 6, what unit do we measure force in? Inches, newtons, pounds, or liters? And 7, what example is 1 unit of force? A cloud, an apple, a piece of paper, or a cell phone. Remember to use the slides, use your Zoom hours. We are here to help you. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, Adams.